let's get right to the whole Tesla stuff first. And Kevin, on that, the fear seems to be that, when one bubble comes up, more bubbles emerge, and now concerns about tweets from those who are looking into certain models in the past, beyond what the chairman has been saying. So what's going on here?
Yeah, Tesla shareholders certainly have had a wild ride, especially because it's been self-inflicted from Elon Musk, and they tend to be dedicated to him. But the real issues at Tesla are production problems that they've had for years. They've never really met their production goals, albeit he's promised that. Now we're seeing there's a whistleblower that talked about defects with the cars, coming out with different models. And so the board is involved now, and that's a real situation.
So that's not an SEC matter at this stage, right? That's a separate idea.
Yeah.
But it's still, more noise, right?
Right, it's more noise because we also saw Tesla was having cash flow problems. They were talking about basically getting payments back from vendors and also elongating when they're going to pay them instead of 60 days, maybe 90 days. So the issue that you're seeing happen is that they're having cash flow problems, production problems, they're having management issues, and now the SEC is in there. And so the SEC is not only investigating his tweet and funding secured, which is a material statement, especially because if people based investing decisions off that tweet, say I bought the stock and now it's down below, I certainly have recourse to the company that I could say, hey, listen, it was material. I based an investment decision off of that. Who's going to end up paying in the end? Tesla shareholders. Yeah,
because you can argue, and shorting a stock, Michael, is a legitimate exercise, right? So if you were burnt on that by the back and forth, you too have grounds for something. Where is this all going?
Well, I think ultimately what this proves is making cars is complicated. And, when you ramp up, let's give Elon Musk credit for visionary innovation. But, the reason why that there are established players that have been around for 100 years in the automotive market is because it is a really complicated business. It requires a huge amount of working capital and a huge amount of engineering expertise that Elon Musk is learning on the job. And I think that's probably the biggest problem is he should have probably partnered with somebody with more expertise. I also think that he seems to be, we were talking earlier about the president and his need to kind of like be out ahead of communication issues. Elon Musk seems to have that same need. And, he doesn't like the short sellers, and he punishes them occasionally with these kinds of tweets. And ultimately, that
came back with a vengeance, right? What was the phone call in the last earnings? You got really nasty with some analysts.
That was one of the most bizarre.
Hell hath no fury like a scorned analyst, I guess.
He was asking about financing questions,
right? You're right about that,
which is a legitimate concern. And he said this is stupid, and he took it off and went to YouTube and then started talking about their vision. And it's like, well, listen, if I'm a shareholder, I actually own the company. I have ownership in it. And
you work for me.
Yeah, you work for me.
But, you got to be careful a little bit, too. I mean, whatever you think of Elon Musk, he is the company, right? He's not just some, flack in a suit.
Well, you want a car, but you also want to have an Elon Musk car. It's, you want to be part of his dream, his vision for, however fast you're going to be going, how energy efficient, and maybe you're going to the moon. And that's a really exciting thing
and,
to be a
this
part
demand
of.
that Kevin alluded to, that's there for a reason.
Totally.
The reason why they have thousands of vehicles that, already checked off for orders, a lot of people are now cashing those deposit checks back. But they wanted them. They wanted them badly.
They absolutely. My parents were in that group. They thought,
right?
downtown Manhattan liberals, we need one of these things. Right? The tweeting is a problem. We've talked about Elon Musk and, when he kind of went to the mats with Trump against the media, the fake news media, and he's in all that hustle. I was reading reports that were saying that they are desperately seeking for a number two that can become the public face of the company while the SEC investigation is going on.
It's like Google. It had like the Google kids, kids at the time, looking for an Eric Schmidt. Someone like that was seasoned executive.
Exactly, an adult to say, what he meant, even though Elon Musk, I think he's like 45, right? It wasn't exactly like Sergey and Larry in that sense. But I think bringing someone in that can stabilize this. And then you have the sideshows, like the Azalea Bank sideshow about, being trapped in his house for 3 days with his girlfriend and how weird it is and what drugs they're doing. It's just not good. He should
Well, that's
device.
I mean, that's speculation, but we know that he actually went after a hero who helped save boys in the Thai cave.
Right? Remember that?
Yeah.
The pedophile.
You're right.
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
yeah.
Which is just, there's a difference that shareholders need to understand between the man and the company, and you need to separate those two. Listen, I've driven a Tesla, phenomenal car. Like,
Absolutely.
they should continue making as many as those as possible because they're awesome. But the company is in deep problems, and the biggest problem they have is their cash flow, and they need to raise money. Who's going to lend the money in this type of environment right now? And also, Elon Musk knows better. He knows that they need to, the board needs to put together a special committee to address the CEO trying to take it public. They need to do disclosures.
But if you picture, though, guys, if he were out of there, and I'm thinking, Mike, you know, I agree with everything that's been said, that he's not your typical CEO. He doesn't, you know, conform to the strategies and even the temperament of a typical CEO. But he's like the Steve Jobs of our time, the Thomas Edison of our time. I mean, he's a visionary and all, but visionaries tend to have a tough time in the real workaday world doing this. So what's the next solution there? Because if the SEC were to zero in on him, justified or not, he is the company, isn't he?
Yeah, and I do believe that, you know, Elon Musk has done a great service for mankind. He has shown us that an electric car is not just, you know, New York liberal, you know, save the world. It's a better ownership experience. You get better,
which is why everyone is doing it now.
Exactly,
right.
And that is the problem.
In
with
fact,
Tesla.
isn't Volvo eventually going to have a complete electric line?
100%. Yeah, that's what they're talking about. And you're looking at all these established names in the automotive industry that are going to come on. They're following in his footsteps, just like, you know, Netscape was the visionary in the internet that created the world that we live in now.
Right.
But they didn't make any money. You know, ultimately, it was the second and third, the more established companies that came over and followed in that visionary's footsteps. And ultimately, I'm afraid that may be what happened.
Do you think Netscape would have made money if they were subsidized by the government? Because let's talk about how Tesla, people can actually buy them and they get tax breaks.
Yeah, you're right.
So
the last people on earth who need them.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Jessica's parents. Like Jessica's parents.
Yeah,
they don't
get
want
around
your
in
tax
traffic.
breaks anyway.
So that's another issue that we need to talk about.
No, that's a very fair point.